Good morning everybody. I don't know, can you see me? Pretty dark today. Got the lights on. 6:30. I'm up early today and I'm off in the Bongo. And if you've been watching the channel for a long time, you may remember that almost to the day a year ago I took the van to Worcester for its MOT. So that time has come around again. It is time to get the van to Worcester for its MOT. And I've got to be there, I like to be there sort of 9 o'clock, so hopefully my van will get done first, because it does mean I've got to hang around all day, which isn't a bad thing because I do love Worcester. So I'm going to make a cup of coffee before I go, and let's see what adventures we can come up with today. Well, that's the van dropped off. We had a long conversation about fuel additives because of this new something to do with petrol for older vehicles. So it's going to be a bit of an extra cost. The good news is he can do me another key, because I've only ever had one key for my van. And that's good news. Wait with bated breath. Hope it'll pass the MOT. And while it's there, it's having a nice service as a treat. So I'm going to head off into Worcester and hopefully grab some breakfast. Good evening. Well, what a traumatic day. I casually took my van in for an MOT, and like every other year, apart from one when there was a bit of an issue with the emissions, my van has always flown through MOTs. So it was a bit of a shock when I got a phone call from the garage later after I left it this morning to say the van had failed the MOT. Couple of minor things, and then the fact that it needed welding, which was a complete shock. Basically, it turns out that on the passenger side underneath the van, some water had got in and caused a hole, and he showed me photos of that. So it wasn't just general rust underneath the van, it was from a specific cause, which makes me feel a little bit better. But in order to pass the MOT, it needed welding. So I had the welding done. He told me that they've kind of knocked it and hit the rust hard. I like the sound of that. So they've given me some underseal the whole lot as well. Again, it's been done a couple of times now since it was brand new. And they've used Hammerite wax oil underseal, which apparently is better than the one that was used previously. I don't know about that. I'm just happy that it's still on the road. When I first had that phone call, I honestly thought that it was going to be in the garage for weeks. So I put my big girl pants on and I've taken this bill on the chin. It was very expensive, far more than usual, because I had the MOT done. All the work to get it through the MOT and a service and new tyres. So I think you can imagine how much this cost. Anyway, it's painful. It's very painful, but the way I look at it, it's an investment for my future happiness. I love my Bongo. I don't want to scrimp on it. I want to look after it. I don't want to ignore rust and just hope it goes away. Having said that, my sills are now looking cosmetically rusty and they do need dealing with, and thank you for the lovely comment. I can't remember who it was, but I'm going to do that, especially now after this hefty bill. And yeah, I think it's just like I've always thought about the Bongo. They are wonderful vehicles, but they are very prone to rust, and I think it's the thing I'm most fearful of. I think anything mechanical can usually be repaired at a cost, but the rust really terrifies me. But he did assure me that other than that, it's in good condition underneath, and it especially is now because it's all gleaming with its new undersail. So I had a lovely day in Worcester, I must admit. Apart from that awful phone call, I have spent pretty much the whole day in Worcester's very modern, lovely library. It's called the Hive. I did take some sneaky shots, but you get that feeling when you're in a library that you're not allowed to do talking or filming. But it was just the most lovely, uplifting library shared with the university, so lots of students in there working. But beautiful view over the railway line, and I sat there, found a book, and I read the entire day. So it was kind of my kind of day. Last year when I came up to Worcester, I did quite a bit of walking on the River Severn. Today I had a lovely breakfast in Wetherspoons, and then sat in the library, had my bad news, and then spent the rest of the day trying to find ways why yeah, this is worth it. And of course it is worth it. It's my lovely van. So yeah, the family will now be living on value baked beans for the rest of the year, but at least the van is okay. So I think I'm going to sign off this week's vlog now. I don't have any energy for any more. I've got a 2-hour drive home. Some of you may be wondering why I come all the way to Worcester. Basically, I have confidence in the garage that I come to. A couple of years ago, it was 3 years ago actually, I had an MOT in a local garage because I thought MOTs doesn't need any specialist Bongo garage, and it was fine except it passed on the emissions. And because it wasn't a Bongo knowledgeable garage, they tried fiddling around and ordering things which came to a few £100s, which didn't treat the problem. And I know from friends who've got Bongos that this garage knows their way around a Bongo. So I brought it up here and they fixed it quite inexpensively. So I've come here ever since, because I just don't want to be in that position again where I'm in a garage that sort of doesn't know what they're doing. So as expensive as this bill has been, I am reasonably confident that it's the right place to have had it done. So that's why I come to Worcester. I'm not saying it's the only Bongo knowledgeable garage. There will be others around the country. So yeah, ask around on all the Facebook groups. I'm going to go home and lie down in the dark. But yeah, on a good note, we are coming up again later on the week, the same way, up to Stratford-on-Avon, because we're coming up for the International Camper Van Show. So I'm really, really excited about that. And the Bongo is now in good health. So it's not all bad news. So anyway, I hope you're all having much better luck with your Bongos this week. And yeah, lesson here, rust can still happen no matter how well you look after your vans. Hey ho, have a great week everybody, and I'll see you next week. Bye.